I am back. It's Dr. Hammond here with your mental health moment. I hope that you've had a really great, amazing week. For those of you who are new to Mental Health Moment, welcome, welcome. We're here every Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Black Women Empowered Incorporated Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn Live. If you do happen to miss an episode of Mental Health Moment with Dr. Hammond, you can always go to my YouTube page. If you're here every single Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, welcome back. And for those of you who may be watching the replay on YouTube, welcome as well. Be sure to subscribe. Again, every Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm here on Black Women Empowered Incorporated Facebook page, YouTube, and LinkedIn Live. And thanks for those who are starting to join here today. It's Dr. Hammond here. Make sure that you tell me in the comments here. Hopefully I can see the comments this week. But make sure you tell me where you're tuning in from today. For myself, I am in the Tampa Bay area of Florida. For those of you who are new, which is where I reside, but typically I'm somewhere on the road. Speaking of the road, I just got back today from Tallahassee, Florida, which is our state capital, and had some really great, amazing conversations, you all. So a group of us, the Florida Psychological Association, we were there and we're advocating for mental health. We're trying our best to make sure that patients are taken care of and in the mental health world. And so we met with a lot of legislators and legislative assistants. Oh, I can see the comments today. Wonderful. Thanks for those who are starting to join here. And it was a really grand time. But yes, I just got back and slid into my seat in the Tampa Bay area of Florida here. But thank you. Looks like someone said first episode. Welcome. Houston, Texas is in the house today. Charlotte, North Carolina. New York City, Orangeburg, South Carolina, Raleigh, North Carolina. There's a lot of people from the Carolinas tonight. Cincinnati, Ohio, Boston's in the house. First episode. Welcome to someone else. St. Vincent is here. Maryland, Atlanta, Texas. Welcome. Thanks so much for joining here. It's Dr. Hammond here with your Mental Health Moment. So for those of you who said you are new to Mental Health Moment, the month of January, so we're in the first month of the year, right? And I know a lot of times, hopefully you have some of your wellness goals or self-care or other resolutions, all the things that you want to achieve, or you want this to be your year, all those types of things that we normally hear. So this month, Mental Health Moment is focused on all things mindset training, because a lot of what you need has to do with your mindset. So that's what we've been working on this month. And again, for those of you who are brand new, you can watch the prior episodes on my YouTube page. And thanks for those who are still starting to join here. I'm so glad I can see the comments tonight. Last week there was a bit of a technical issue, so I couldn't see where you guys are tuning in from. But Virginia's in the house, Moreno Valley, California, South Dakota, first time, welcome. Bahamas, Memphis, first episode. There's a lot of first timers here, so welcome. So today I have a couple of tips for you when it comes to thinking about your mindset training, because remember, it sounds easy. There's a journey. All of us are on a journey with our mindset. Every single one of us have mental health. Every single one of us are working on our wellness in different ways, which is okay. So I'm going to give you 3 tips today on how you can strengthen your mindset, which is so critical. So the first thing I want you to think about, if you pictured a knight, we often hear like a knight in shining armor and that sort of thing. If you picture the armor that's on a knight that's supposed to protect, this knight going into battle, if you will, that is what I want you to think about when you think about your brain, when you think about your mindset. Think about you building up that armor, okay? Because life is going to throw so much stuff at you. I'm not saying that if you have a strong mindset, you'll never fall down. That's not what I mean. But if you picture a knight and they're in armor, if you punch that knight, like life sometimes kind of throws these punches, like these surprises and these disappointments and these tragedies and trauma and all these sorts of things. But if you punched a knight's probably not going to be falling to the ground because they're protected, right? This knight, when you think of this armor, this is your goal. And hi, thanks for those who are still starting to join here. If you think about your your mental armor, if you will, and your mental toughness and how strong you can be, right, mentally, it makes it a little bit easier. Of course, there are some things that are just so overwhelming and so strong it would push over this night. But some of the smaller types of things that happen in our life, it's a lot easier to handle when you work on your mindset, when you work on building up that mental armor. So, for those of you, I know some of you take notes. Could you tell me on mental health moment here? And hi, welcome. Someone said first episode as well. Um, and welcome, welcome. So one of the things I want you to think about is who or what for you can really build you up. So who or what builds up your, if you will, like your mental armor? If you think of your mindset, if you think of making you strong, what is it for you that's going to build you up? Who or what is it for you that fuels you, right? That type of process. Because again, we're all at different places on this journey. But again, when you think about building yourself up mentally, it makes certain things that happen in your life easier to deal with. So some of you, I know a lot of you are saying, a lot of you are saying in the comments that this is your first episode. So you may not have known. I've been doing mental health moment now for a couple of years, but I've shared a lot over time of things that was happening in my life, and the last couple of years have been really challenging in a lot of different ways. One of them being like everyone else, COVID, right? There were so many things that happened during 2020. I remember I had to temporarily shut down my mental health practice. I was really busy trying to homeschool my child at the time who was in early elementary school. So that was stressful. And then I had an amazing mentor in my life, someone I was very, very close to who passed away that year. Like there were so many things. Like it was really stressful, you all. But the reason, one of the reasons that I was able to get through those times, and some of it I'm still processing. It's a lot. Grief is really hard, you all. But a lot of the things that you all may be processing, one of the things that just makes it easier is when you've built up yourself, when you have that mental armor on. And I truly believe so for me. And it may be again, where someone said ultimately God fuels me, and first timer, welcome, welcome. So for all of us, again, who or what fuels you, that is a different answer, and that's okay, right? So for me, one of the things that I've really worked on, especially the last couple of years, has been my spiritual growth. So again, on mental health moment, we welcome all races, ethnicities, religious beliefs, or non-religious belief. Everyone is welcome in this space. But I'm just sharing with you, for me, one of the things that really made me a lot stronger was some real hardcore conversations with God and some real spiritual growth that took place. And honest to God, I'm like, thank God I was in that mental state back in 2020, because a lot of things happened all at once. And it was a lot to process. And it was so stressful and emotionally painful to deal with a lot of that. But again, when you think about for you, who or what is fueling you, who or what can help you build up that armor, right? Very, very important. Yep, someone said mental armor is real. Yes, never stutter, tell your story. Yes, yes. Exactly. Thank you for your comments in the chat here. So that's my first tip for you. So again, it is I know I say this every mental health moment, and there's a lot of newbies tonight. So I'm going to remind you, you all, this is a journey. That please, I beg you, please have your goals for this year. Wonderful. But please don't be upset if at the end of this year you're like, man, I'm not where I wanted to be at. No, this is lifetime. We talked about that a couple mental health moments ago. This is a lifetime process to be better, to be stronger, to be the best version of who you are, which is what mental health moment is all about, you all. For you to become the best version of who you are. Yep. Someone said, is my cup filled? Beautiful. Someone says, prayer helps me. Wonderful. Someone said, the blood never loses its power. Amazing. These are the things, when you cling to these things in your heart, when you work on, again, building up that mental armor, it helps a lot of things, not everything, but a lot of things for you to handle it better, right? Whatever your situation you're in right now, you may be in a place of darkness, you may be in spiritual warfare, you may be dealing with physical things, emotional, mental, whatever, different things in different areas of your life, or you may be in a really great place, right? But either way, when you think about building up that armor, that's important. Yep, someone said I did them all. Physical, mental, and spiritual health. Beautiful. Someone said biblical scripture helps them. I needed something much larger than myself to carry on. I had to humble myself that I could not control everything. Wonderful. And by the way, that was a whole mental health moment we did a while back, but trust and control when you think about. Ooh, that's a whole nother mental moment. But when you think that's a process too, to work on trust, control, there's some spiritual growth there. It's all good. It's a whole nother mental health moment, but very, very good. Someone else says, I am learning to show myself compassion. Beautiful, a beautiful thing to have. Very important too when it comes to your mindset training, because a lot of us, which we're going to talk about next month, I'm already jumping ahead of myself, but for February, a lot of times we think about Valentine's Day and things like that, which is great, but also self love is really important. So we'll be talking about that in the month of February. And someone said, how do you actually build yourself up when there's so much happening? Great, great question. Here's the thing. Great question. I love that question because it is hard. First of all, I am not sharing anything on any mental health moment that I think can be done overnight, you all. I'm just being honest with you. Do I think some of these things can be done in a month? No. But do I want you to put some of these tools into place? Yes. And again, we're all at different points in our journey. So for some of you, it will be a couple months. You're like, man, I'm good. I'm back to where I need to be. For some of you, it'll take the whole year, and that's okay. For most of us, almost all of us, though, it's a lifetime where we're working on different things. So how do you build yourself up? You take baby steps and you celebrate all of the baby steps, you all. I know a lot of times, because I'm guilty of that too sometimes. We have these goals, especially when it comes to our wellness. We want to take leaps. Like we want this leap, this huge, progress that we see, but we have to celebrate the baby steps. So even if, you know what, wherever you're at, if you're in a place. Oh, let me tell you that when I think back to the grief, and I'm still going through the grief, it's almost been 3 years, but it's way better now than 3 years ago. There were days when I celebrated. I'm like, you know what? I got through a day and I didn't cry all day. Like that's how painful, that's how difficult it was back in 2020 dealing with this really difficult time, right? So that might be a baby step, right? That's not a huge leap and bounds, but that's a something small, but you have to celebrate that and continue to do your best to build yourself up. Now, I will tell you all, please take care of yourself though. So whatever it is that you're doing to build up your mental armor, if there are certain days where you're like, Dr. Hammond, I need to take a pause, right? On my wellness goals or whatever it is you have, do that. Do that for you. So that's how you do it. That's absolutely how you do it. The most important thing you all is you have to take care of yourselves. Which really someone says you got this. I love how you guys are encouraging each other in the comments. Which really leads me to my second point as well, that even though, so again, for those of you just joining, welcome. It's Dr. Hammond here with your mental health moment. Today we're talking about how to build yourself up. We're talking about mindset training, thinking about your mental armor, if you will. But one of the things you also have to remember when it comes to your mental armor is sometimes you still have to feel the feelings, right? So again, if someone punches, if you had on physical armor like a knight and someone punched you, you might not feel it, right? But if you took off that armor, someone punched you, you're going to feel it. Someone punched you in the chest, you would feel that clearly, right? So sometimes though, we have to sort of take off the armor and feel our feelings, which is okay. So I don't want you to ever think it happens very often with people. Everyone is guilty of this sometimes, that we want to just sweep things under the rug, right? But I want you to work on this year, especially to think about how can you also feel your feelings. If sometimes you have to wear that armor, right? That mental armor. And sometimes you have to take it off for a second and sort of feel through and process these feelings, right? And you have to decide over time which state of mind that you want to be in, and what best protects your mental wellness, what best protects your peace of mind. That's what's most important. Someone said devotionals help me so much. I need to get back to that habit. Wonderful, beautiful. Yep, someone said devotional reading. And be intentional with everything. Do every day consistency. They will become habits over 2 years and still. I love it. I love it. I love it. Wonderful, wonderful. Someone says, yes, celebrate the small accomplishments. I'm so proud. Talk about self-care and see worth and being selfless. Wonderful. Acknowledge the feelings. Yes. And then my third thing that I want to share with you, Um, is my third tip today is that you are so much stronger than you know, than you think. You just really are. Again, life just throws so many surprises at us sometimes, but you are really stronger than you think. And the reason why I say this to you, and for those of you who are new to mental health moment, you may not know this about me, but I am a psychologist and a speaker and author. And I have had the opportunity to speak to thousands, literally thousands and thousands of people at, I mean, different cultures, different belief systems, different religions, different parts of the world. I've had the opportunity to talk to so many people, whether it's at a speaking engagement, whether it's been in my practice, whether other work I do. And what I can tell you time after time after time is that the resiliency that I see, the stories that I have heard inspire me, frankly, but the resiliency that I have seen with people that have been through really, really difficult things tells me that we are way more stronger than we know, right? And or a couple days ago, actually, I was going to this film, this film screening. It's called Ezra is the film, and it was about a boy who, died by suicide, a teenager, who died by suicide, and more of like documentary style. It was a very moving film. It was a film screening for the community, and one of the most amazing things is that his mom was there. The Ezra's mom was there at this film screening, and so I had an opportunity to just to see her and process that. That's a lot for a mom to handle. The mom of the son who died by suicide. This is a while back, I think 12, 13 years ago. But we are watching the film as a community and discussing it. And it was just another proof, like just having a conversation with her. And in the space of her grief, she's going to different communities and trying to help different communities and speak about ways, like from her perspective, speak about ways to deal with mental health, thinking about ways to help teenagers and those sorts of things. And I'm like, wow, that's just amazing to me and commendable, and just the strength that she showed, but still her being real. I mean, it was just, ooh, it was yeah, it was a very well needed conversation with the community. And again, it's very different watching a movie that you might see at home, but this was watching this film and then seeing, I mean, this is a true story, obviously, and seeing the mom of that son there and just meeting her and hearing about her strength and getting through. And it wasn't always easy, right? So I share this with you because, again, I want you to remember that there just will be so many things that are thrown at us. But when we talk about mindset training, retraining your mind, if you, whatever affirmation that you may or may not use, even if you tell yourself, if it's a mantra, whatever you want to call it, the words that you tell yourself, reminding yourself that you are stronger than you know. We're really repeating that and believing that because it's true. There's true. Like I said, there's so many stories. There's so many stories that I've heard, and so many amazingly strong people that have gotten through really, really horrific and tragic and traumatic incidents. So I just want to remind you of that again as we talk about mindset training this month, because it's really important on whatever your wellness goal is. It's really important for you to remember that. Yeah, someone said positive affirmations, very important, very important. Someone else said, oh, I'm so grateful I was invited to the broadcast today. So great. Thank you for sharing yourself. You're absolutely welcome. Every Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we are definitely here. Someone said resilience. Yes. Very powerful testimony. We are stronger than we know. It's important to be patient and kind to ourselves in each moment. Absolutely. And I'm glad you guys are like, you guys are already talking about next month's stuff. But no, we will be well, we got one more mental health moment next week in January. So next week, you all will be the last week of the mindset training, right, for January. Those tips, but some of you all are already talking about it. But the third, or not the third, the second month, so February, definitely we'll be talking about self-love, because that's another whole journey. And someone mentioned in here too, the positive things we tell ourselves. A lot of us have negative, everybody has negative self-talk, but there's different ways and tips and tricks, if you will, to deal with that self-talk. with that negative self-talk. So we can continue the journey of self-love. So we'll definitely be talking about that in February. Someone said you have to believe your affirmations. Absolutely. The journey is long, but as we gain strength, we should be able to help others along the way. I love that. I'm so glad you brought that up. So thank you for sharing that. Very, very important too. I know someone mentioned that about helping others as well. Very critically important in our own journeys. But again, the most important thing, and it may sound selfish, but it's not. The most important thing is that you are taking care of yourself. For some of you, I know many of you on here are givers, which is amazing. Please be a giver, but also give to yourself and make sure you're filling up your own cup. Make sure you're doing your self care. Make sure you're taking care of you so that you can be the best version of who you are for people, whomever it is in your life, right? Very, very, very important. A lot of times we think we got to help this person and this person and that person, and we're putting everyone else first, but we have to put ourselves first, right? We need us to be okay before we can help others. So absolutely perfect. Energy positive. Yes. Yes. Someone said definitely needed this. Good. I'm happy to hear that. Um, someone said, getting to know yourself is so powerful. I had to talk to the little girl in me that needs to feel protected to overcome sleeplessness, fibromyalgia. It was amazing to recognize her and how that manifests. Beautiful. We are all, like I said, you all, every single one of us has mental health. Every single one of us is on this mental health journey together. Thank you for those, by the way. I saw some of your comments here and just encouraging one another, which is beautiful. Be in communities that really are that surround you with love, that surround you with encouragement. Very, very important. Encouraging words goes a long way. Absolutely. And someone said, pour from the overflow. Beautiful. If you all need me at any time, you can always reach me at drnikishahammond.com. Again, next week, I'll be finishing up on the mindset training for the month of January. And then, of course, February, we'll be talking about self-love. Very important, right? We're all on a different journey. You can also connect with me on any social media platform. If you have a question, if you need a mental health resource, I'm more than happy to help you. Just send me a direct message. And I will see you all next Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You're welcome. Right here on Black Women Empowered Incorporated Facebook page, YouTube, and LinkedIn Live. So have an amazing week, you all, and be sure to implement these tools. And again, if you're watching the replay on YouTube, welcome and thank you. And I'll see you all next week. So bye, you all. Have an amazing week. Take care of yourselves.